Hello everyone, welcome to Shore Wisdom. Today I'm going to talk about the topic of pessimistic and optimistic. Okay, this is a contrast, right, at the back, right, between these two terms. Why these two terms are so important? These two terms are so important because they affect the life of many people. Okay, because if you are a optimistic person, you'll be happy to do things. The chances of being successful is much higher than somebody always to be pessimistic, because they're always looking into the situation as a failure or not having possibility to become successful. So we need to change our attitude basically from pessimism to optimism. Okay? Now, the first thing I'd like to just look into is the situation in Hong Kong, right? Hong Kong has been in riots for almost 5 months and has no point or no direction of calming down or being like stop, right, from the current situation. Continue to be in riot, and the policemen all keep on fighting those people coming up in demonstrations. According to one of the surveys that has been done by the Chinese University of Hong Kong, what have they done? They have done a survey on what are the decisions of the people in Hong Kong through surveying 1,000 people. 42% of these people are pretty much pessimistic. Why? Because they have intention to go migrating to other countries. They apply for going to live in other countries. And in this 42%, right, 10% already have take action. Okay, that means they have filled out an application form, right, with the consulate of another country. Okay, so this is something we need to look into. But half of these people are different. They are pretty optimistic. Okay, because they know that there's a law coming out from USA trying to punish people that has been controlling freedom of speech and also the freedom of these people in Hong Kong. They will pretty much like trying to prevent these people from going to America and freeze their bank account, right? Now, this is something. The people that demonstrate in Hong Kong are very happy about this. Why? Because they have seen an action taken by the U.S. in helping them to demand for freedom for the future. Another thing is they are really happy is because they look into their elections, okay, or they're kind of like in November. Okay, the people are optimistic because they know that the people to take the side of having freedom is getting a higher chance of winning this election. So they can change their legislative council, right, in the future. They're having better kind of like decision for the people rather than being like taken over by supporters to the Chinese government. So these are the things that we can see, right, between the two terms, pessimistic and optimistic. Okay, but we can see that pessimistic or optimistic come from basically the environment and also basically from the brought up that you have, right, on seeing things so different. Now let me give you some stories behind that. The first story I would like to talk about is environment affecting us to become either optimistic or pessimistic. Now that can be a possibility. Now one case that happened in the Dallas area is one woman policeman that when she got home, right, and opened the door, she saw a black man, right, an African American, is eating ice cream in her house, right, or something. And she took her gun and shot at that person right away without taking any hesitation. Okay, does she need to be doing something like this right away? And I believe she is pretty pessimistic, looking into the dark side, right, all the time. Okay, maybe she don't like African American, have some kind of racial discrimination. So when she goes to that on trial, right, in the court, there's something really interesting happen, because she may be possible to ask that person by asking him to put up his hand with a gun on hand, and saying that, why you come to my house? Okay, and that gentleman may say, this is not your house, it's my house. So she may be stop a while to see and think, or maybe she can call for help, right, as backup, right, to help her to bondage on this man and send him to the police station. Okay, but she didn't, right? So in that, pretty much like in the court, right, the particular like the decision of the people in the court saying that she is guilty of doing some kind of like killing on that, the black American, okay, African American, right? She did it in purpose, okay? So from that point, she got 10 years sent to prison. But in that meantime, right, something really interesting happened. Is the brother, the younger brother of that man that being killed, come to the court and ask the judge, right, can I tell something and say something to this lady who have killed my brother? He just to get near to that lady and said, I forgive you, because I'm a Christian and I learned from Jesus that I need to forgive you, okay, because he forgave me, okay. And in addition to that, what happened? He asked that judge, right, can I have her to give a hug on her? And the judge allowed him to do that. She went up and then gave her a hug. So everything is on video. And also this lady said, oh, how come that you're so like meaningful that forgive my kind of like action? And he said, I'm a Christian. And that lady said, hey, can I be a Christian too? Do I need to read the Bible? And then the judge gave her a Bible. Now this is something really extraordinary already. But something even more extraordinary is what? This is on video. And every multimedia have seen such a situation happen. And many people give thanks to God, right, and believe in Jesus after seeing this particular situation that happened in the court. Now this is that environment affecting people's mind. Another situation is what? Another situation is pretty much like also in a court. But this one is talking about the brought-up of that gentleman. And he said, you cannot just give me so heavy penalty, right? Because my brought-up is so bad. I don't have anybody to take care of me. I have no food. I have no money. I wear pretty like bad clothing. Then what happened? And he just told the judge, right? And because of my brought-up so bad, okay, I have to do a lot of things, including, stealing, robbery, selling drugs, right, and everything that is bad. So you cannot just put me into so heavy penalty. But the judge said, my environment is just exactly like yours when I was young, but I have something different. I'm kind of optimistic. Okay, I take it very seriously. I do. I'm into earning money by distributing newspaper or milk, and then get some money, and then I can go to study in the primary school, and after that, secondary school, right? And then I go to a university and earn my degree in law, and then get being a judge after having been a lawyer for 10 years. So I have something quite similar to you, but I take a wrong path. You take a wrong path, and I take a right path. It's just being optimistic and try to work hard, and then change my life very differently. So you can do the same too if you work hard on that. So this is something really interesting, right? It's brought up, affecting us to become pessimistic or optimistic. You have to decide, right? So from that point, another two story is basically from the attitude of the people. This attitude comes from a shoe kind of like a company going to sell shoes in Africa. Two salesmen. One of them I've seen people in Africa have no shoes. So he said, not a chance. Really bad. I just go home. Okay, because they have no money to buy our shoes. But the other salesman said, hey, they have no shoes, right? That is a very good opportunity. We don't need to be selling them really expensive ones. We can sell them really inexpensive ones first, like sandals, right? Okay, and later they can buy it from us. Clark shoes, right? More expensive one. Now this guy is what? Very different from the first guy. You see? Okay? Every situation, even though it's hard, there should have some opportunity to do it, right? Okay? So from that point we can see it depends on our attitude. When we look into that Bible story from what we call the prodigal son, right? We can see the young brother asking for his kind of like inheritance from the father. Now in Israel, even though the dad has not passed away yet, the younger brother can still ask for his part of the inheritance. And he went out, okay, having fun, okay, a very good life, right? Spending all the money by gambling or doing a lot of things that shouldn't be done as an adult. He spent everything and then line up to become like feeding the pigs, right? Now he even eat the food of the pigs. And at that time he become very pessimistic and say to himself, why not I go back to my own home, right? My father's house is big and has a lot of like servants and with good food, right? And clothing and even with rings, right? That can put on my finger. No. So he went back. His father is also very optimistic because he is standing every day out of the door, right? So trying to, look for his young son to come home. And he finally got it. When he saw his son, he ran towards his son, okay, hugged him and kissed him and gave him pretty good clothing, cover him with a ring on his hand and asked the servants to kill a calf to celebrate with all the neighbors. The problem comes now. Why? Because the older brother come home and saw everything. He was so unhappy, from real optimistic to become a real pessimistic situation. And he said, hey father, I've been working with you all the time. I've been with you. I'm not complaining everything. You don't give me anything, celebration calf. Okay? Not even a cloth or a diamond. So from this point, why you have to do something to this younger brother who has spent everything wrongdoing, and come home with all such celebration? And the father said, oh, son, I'm always with you. No need to complain, right? Okay, so I will have everything for you in the future. Why you have to complain? And then put down on your brother. He is somebody just have lost his life, right, almost, and come back. Okay, so he just teaches older son something. You have to be kind to people, right? Loving your brother. Now this gives us an idea. This is exactly what our God has done for us when we make mistakes, when we have not receiving as personal Savior. We can come to Him to ask for forgiveness, and He will take us back. Okay, when we receive Jesus as our personal Savior, then what happened? Okay, we're just having a kind of like look into a rebuilding our relationship with God Himself through Jesus. Okay, so from that point, we ought to make something really important and decide on this. Now, how can we help people from pessimism to optimism? The first thing you can do, right, is trying to make a track record for him. If he has done 5 projects for the year, is everything really bomb? A bad, right, situation come? No. If 3 of them are good result of his project, tell him, hey, statistics on yours prove that everything is not always bad. Something is still good, right? So you don't need to be that pessimistic. Second thing, ask him to try hard for his life. Okay, go to class at night. Maybe you can earn a degree, and your pay can be better when you graduate and get a degree, right? So you work hard to make yourself change in your life, then you'll be changing from pessimism to optimism. The third thing you can do is every cloud has a silver lining. Don't look into its opportunity and find difficulty. You shouldn't be like that. You should be having difficulty. You find something as an opportunity. Reverse it. It's a matter of your attitude. So from that point we can see, okay, we can change our attitude by means of looking into that situation. Every cloud has a silver lining behind it. Thank you for your learning. Goodbye.